Good morning and welcome to QuiltChat. Happy Valentine's Day.
Well, happy Valentine's Day to you too.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And so does Valentine's have a special meaning for either of you?
Love. Love is always good.
That is
Love is in the air.
good. That is
Chocolate.
always good.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. And nobody brought us chocolate again today, did they?
Oh, man.
No, but we do have goodies.
Oh, yes, we do.
And now here we're having pizza for lunch.
Oh, we'll have
That's
that.
heart-shaped, maybe.
Oh, you think?
No, probably not, but we'll pretend.
Probably have pepperoni on some of it.
That's
too.
right.
Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about thread, and we all love thread. So we brought a sampler of some threads from both Superior Threads and Wonderfil. And I don't know if you know, but you can order a sample of threads from both of those companies so you can try out their threads.
Wow.
And
I
so
need to
which
do
of
that.
these do you like best, Anne?
Well, I am a real fan of English paper piecing, and I like using a very thin thread. So that would be anywhere from 60 to 100 weight. And Invisifil by Wonderfil is really wonderful.
Yeah,
it's super thin. It comes in lots and lots of colors. Also, Superior has Bottom Line and what's the other one? Kimono Silk.
Yes, the silk
Bottom
thread.
Line is 60 weight, and Kimono Silk is 100 weight. And I think those are three of English paper piecers' favorite threads, and I like them as well. Sometimes it's on the verge of being too thin for a needle sometime. I mean, you know, it tends to slip a little bit, so you have to learn some tricks to get around that. But overall, those are wonderful, wonderful threads for English paper piecing. And do you know how Bottom Line got its name?
No.
Although a lot of people do use it for hand quilting, it was originated, from what I understand, as a bobbin thread specifically. So thus the Bottom Line.
Well, and now Superior does their So Fine thread, and that's what they wind on these bobbins that I just loved, because you've got about any color that you might need if you've got a little sewing project, or if you're going to applique too, because it's fine thread.
And what a wonderful idea to use one of those, the bobbin keeper, for if you're doing especially handwork of any kind, or just need a lot of different colors of bobbins handy. It's great. And pretty too.
It is. And of course we have all kinds. We have, this is, I don't know what this means, Met Ray, but it's a 4-ply thread. And this
Metallic
is probably,
rayon, I bet.
oh, metallic, sure. Duh.
Rayon, yeah.
It's early today, right? And so, but this is one that I probably would use for couching.
Oh, right.
You know, that kind of a metallic thread. But in the center, we have Superior's glitter thread, and that's just a fine, I mean, it like wants to get away from you.
It's
It's
so pretty.
fine.
That is
Yes.
beautiful thread.
Okay, Betsy, what of on this table do you like best?
I'm a King Tut girl.
King Tut.
Absolutely
Okay.
love King Tut. And the variegated is really beautiful to quilt with because it will blend into things really nice. It gives a really great coverage. And the King Tut, you know, isn't going to cause a lot of fuzz.
It's Egyptian cotton, isn't it? The longer,
yes.
longer staple cotton.
And it doesn't break real easily, which sometimes can become a problem when you're quilting.
Yes. They also have a variegated that is much more colorful.
It's very pretty.
Not, it's got a wider color range in it that you can use as well.
I'd like to know if whoever's watching, maybe they would give us a shout and tell us what they like to use, or whether they like to use metallic threads or solids, or
Or invisible.
or invisible. Any of your favorite tips on threads? And
Do you know my machine likes cotton in the top and cotton in the bottom best?
did it tell you that?
No, it just
Yes.
is if you have, well, yes.
In a way.
In a way, it told me that.
It spoke machine language.
It hums when I
Oh,
put
that's
both.
it. It hums.
Yes,
Of
it
course.
hums. Yes. But gosh, we have so many choices, and these are just two of the brands that are out there. There's Orifil and Coates and Clark, and,
there's so many.
and many other brands. So tell us, and I see Lynn Whiteman says hi. What are you using for your thread, Lynn?
And one of the important things, especially today, we have so many choices, and it's important just to try things and play with things. And if you don't know what a thread does, try it out.
Get those sample packs.
Yeah.
Yes, and
just
that's exactly what I
You never know
did,
what you're
too.
going to fall in love with.
Yes.
Especially, like, you can add 2 fine threads together, especially when you're pulling a metallic in. You can load bobbin with your, larger fun pieces so that it's not going through an eye of a needle and fraying it up for your metallics.
Oh, I was just going to ask you that.
all
What
sorts of
happens when it
fun.
kind of frays right above your needle?
You just need to get to a bigger needle, smaller thread.
Okay.
One of the two, depending on which you're in love
Sure.
with.
And
right?
so thread gets smaller as the number gets bigger.
Right.
And do needles do the same thing?
Yes.
Yes, they do the same thing. So the
Because-
bigger the number, the
yes.
bigger the eye and the needle.
Right. No, the
No.
bigger the number, the thinner the needle,
Okay,
I think.
okay.
I wish the eyes
You got me
bigger.
confused now, but yes.
I wish the
because a lot of times I'll use up to like an 11 needle for like for English paper piecing or some kind of handwork, and they are extremely tiny and smaller than the 9s. So.
Yes. Well, and I was talking about machine needles.
Right.
Oh, right.
You where they go 80, 90,
Mm-hmm.
110. Yeah, and so
that goes the other way.
that goes the other way
goes
for
the
the
other
machine needles.
Yes.
Good to clarify that.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, so Lynn answered our question. She likes cotton up and down too.
Ah.
Yeah. So let us know. We're always interested in finding out what it is that you're using to make your quilting projects. Now, Betsy, I know you've been really busy with the blog over the last
We've
week.
been getting ready for Valentine's Day. It was so exciting. And so we have a free pattern on there, Capture My Heart. And here it is here. And where we did some arrows and a fun little fusing reverse applique over a striped piece.
That's so pretty.
Isn't
Oh,
that fun?
fun.
And so that's 48 by 48. And if you don't want to do the Valentine's Day thing, this is just the right size that if you don't do the striped fabric in the background, you can put just a solid back there and embroider a baby's name.
Oh, in the
And
heart?
The date in the heart, yes.
Yes. Oh, that would be
Wouldn't
a
that
nice
be so
gift,
sweet?
wouldn't it?
It'd be really cute and a lot of fun. And so it's just to have some fun and play with for Valentine's Day. And then we have a post about all the different products that I personally love with all my heart.
Wow.
Right? And so they're my very, very favorites. Most of them I have used for years, way back when I had a quilt shop. And they're just these beautiful ones. And like the Karen K. Buckley scissors. She just came out with a new one. And I cannot wait to get cutting with it. But I've loved all of her I love her serrated scissors. And this one is not serrated. So it makes it so we can sharpen it and stuff. So I am excited about that because occasionally someone will steal my scissors out of the studio. I don't know how that happens.
They just walk away.
But they end up like in the kitchen drawer. And after I faint and recuperate off the floor. Right? So it is good that she has some that you can sharpen now.
Well, and one of the things we like about her scissors and other scissors too is that we love the ones that are sharp all the way to the point. Because
right.
you know how
Yes.
many times we just need to make a little nick on something and you need the point of the scissors to be
Exactly.
good and sharp.
You have
Exactly.
to. And all of hers, not only are they sharp to the point, but you have control all the way to the point. So there isn't that moment where you accidentally snipped right past your sewing thread.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
It can happen. Yes.
It lets you have control right up to the very last second.
Well, Bonnie, you've got a little project to show us for
Oh,
special
yes.
Valentine treat for everyone today.
Well, first of all, this is my jar of my very special pearl buttons. And I grew up in Muscatine, Iowa, which when I was a kid was the pearl button capital of the world.
Really?
They
Didn't
harvested
know.
the shells out of the Mississippi River, and the whole riverfront was lined with different companies that manufactured pearl buttons.
Oh, how fun.
Yes.
Wow.
And of course, the plastic buttons put them out of business.
That's
all
too
right.
bad.
So, all right. So I use those to make a special project. And so we're going to make a yo-yo heart. And so I just do this by taking a 5-inch square, folding it in half, and then I cut sort of the shape, but I always make sure I come to 90 degrees here. And also in the dip at the top, I make that so that it comes out square. And so I've already stitched this, and all I've done was turned it under about 1/4 of an inch. You know, this isn't government work or scientific work. We can be about 1/4 of an inch. And I will tell you that this is a great project to use with kids. First of all, they take big stitches.
And you need big stitches for this.
Oh yes, you don't want to try to pull up really close stitches in this kind of a project. And so I'm just going to pull this up so that we can get it pulled into shape.
That's always my favorite part. It's like magic.
And I have used double thread here because you sure don't want your thread to break. And so you just need to pull your gathers around.
And when you start your yo-yos, do you stay stitch or do you double knot your thread?
I make a pretty good size knot, like 5 wraps on my knot, and then I start on the inside. And so, you know what? I have a secret on the inside of this. Here, I can,
already a secret?
A secret, yes. Oh. I'll tell you about that in a minute. All right, so we're going to pull it up, and then I stay stitch in place once I get it as tight as it will go. And then like on this one, you can see how I've actually pulled stitches to pull my center together, even though I knew I was going to put some buttons in the center. And so that's one then that's all finished, ready to put the buttons on.
So you pulled the top down then to make the little top of the heart.
Yes, but I have to show you the part that makes that heart. And that is, I'll just knot this off so I can take the next little secret stitch.
And there's no pressure since we're all staring intently.
That's right. And so I just take my thread and wrap it around to the back and bring it up. And now hold that in your fingers and pull. And so now, do you see how I made the dimple at the top of the heart?
Yes.
And so now again, you're going to knot that off, and then you can decorate it however you want. But I made one for each of you that was really special, and so you can see that I put a larger button, and I have to tell you, these little teeny tiny heart buttons are very short supply. I think I have about 10 of them. But I bought them from a lady who bought all of the remains of one of the button factories.
Oh, neat.
And so I had to beg for these little tiny hearts. And then I didn't have a pin back to go on it. And so I just stitched a safety pin on the back of it so that you can actually pin it on your shirt.
How nice.
Oh, how fun.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, and so this is a project that any age can do. And so I hope you'll have fun with that. But you don't want to cut your square too small. You want to make it bigger because it reduces more than half by the time you turn under the edge and then pull it in. And how cute does this look?
And isn't it precious? It looks really sweet. Thank you.
Yes.
Mine will just as soon as I get it clipped.
And it's a fun way to use some buttons and other decorative things on the front, too.
Thank you, Bonnie.
You're welcome. All right, now we have a really pretty quilt hanging behind us.
Yes, we do. Yes. It's called Goose in the Pond. It was made by Baxter Lasco, quilted by Judi Madsen, and it was part of the book Red, White, and Quilted. If you're interested in the book Red, White, and Quilted, we do still have that available as an ebook. I think it's out of print right now, but we have it as an ebook. And it's just a gorgeous red and white quilt that reminded us of Valentine's Day.
And it really is just strips and half square triangles. So it's a pretty simple quilt to assemble. Yes.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
All right, and now, you know, we've been talking about all this thread. And you know, one of the people that is so good at using thread is Melinda Bula.
Oh, she is.
And Melinda has an iQuilt class called Renegade Threadplay. So if you want to learn more about how to use your threads, I suggest you go to iquilt.com and sign up for Melinda's class.
Right. Something in there for everyone, I think. There's a lot to learn.
There sure is. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's program. We always try to bring you tips about something to do with quilting. If you have ideas that you'd like us to talk about, be sure to send them to us right here on this post on the Facebook, or you can send them to us here at AQS. And we'll see you again next week right here at 11 o'clock on Wednesday.